Hello there and welcome to another episode of Quick History. Today we're going to be looking at the failure of the Schlieffen Plan. Make sure, as always, to click the link in the description for your free handout and make sure you click on subscribe if you like what you see. Let's get into the details. Why did the Schlieffen Plan fail? The Schlieffen Plan failed for three reasons. The first reason the Schlieffen Plan failed is that the Germans significantly underestimated the amount of resistance that they would face from the Belgians. Second of all, towns in Belgium such as Liège were much more heavily fortified than the Germans believed they would be. As a result of these heavy fortifications, it took Germany a lot longer to conquer the towns such as Liège than they believed it would do. This slowed down their advance on France. And third of all, this significant resistance and the significant resistance from the fort towns such as Liège meant that the 6-week deadline that they had to defeat France was likely going to be missed. The resistance of the Belgians was much more fierce than they anticipated. This slowed down the advance. Therefore, the 6-week limit that they had to defeat France was likely going to be missed. We can summarize this really through the Battle of Mon. Now, the Battle of Mon is something which would be a textbook example for you to write about if you were given this question, because the Battle of Mon is a great example as to why the German advance slowed down. The Germans ended up facing the British Expeditionary Force at the Battle of Mon, and the professional, well-trained British army were able to fire so quickly and so accurately at the German army that the German army actually believed they were being shot at by machine guns, when in fact they were being shot at by rifle fire. Now, the British army lost the Battle of Mon, but they were able to slow down the German advance. They were able to slow down that advance and crucially make them miss that 6-week window. This then meant that Germany had to abandon its plan. Germany's plan was to come in through the northern border behind the French troops, sweep round Paris and then attack the east. Because of the Battle of Mon and because it had taken so long to get there, the Germans had to change their plan. The Germans were also suffering from issues with their supply lines. They were also suffering from issues with their food and their communication, which all continued to slow them down. With ammunition slowing up and with ammunition being unable to get to the front, this meant that the Germans couldn't fight and couldn't keep pushing forward. That 6-week window, again, was going to be missed. And to make things even worse for the Germans, the Russians mobilized much quicker than anybody had anticipated them doing so. Whilst the Germans believed that it would take up to 6 weeks for Russia to mobilize, it actually turned out that it took them just 10 days, and they were soon marching towards Germany's eastern frontier. As a result of this, Germany had to take 100,000 troops who had been committed to the conquering of France and transfer them via train to the Eastern Front to fight Russia. So not only were France being slowed down on the Western Front, but they then had to take 100,000 men and send them to the Eastern Front, which further slowed down their advance in France. This then led to a two-front war, the one thing that Germany did not want to have happen. The second reason the Schlieffen Plan failed was because of the Battle of the Marne. The Battle of the Marne took place when the German army was just 40 kilometers away from Paris. However, von Kluck, the German commander, made a fateful error. He marched his army to the southeast of the city of Paris, when the initial plan said that they should have attacked the southwest. By attacking the wrong part of the city, this allowed Britain and France to attack the German army in what we call the Marne Valley. Now, the reason the Germans were defeated at the Battle of the Marne is because the German army were comprised of two different sections. There was von Bülow's and there was von Kluck's, and they were marching in columns which allowed Britain to attack a gap in between them, with von Bülow's walking towards the east and von Kluck's marching towards the west. This gap at the Battle of the Marne gave Britain and France a significant advantage. As the British advanced into the gaps, and as the French advanced into the gaps that had been created, the German army had to retreat. They were facing fire from multiple sides and artillery shells from multiple sides, so to consolidate their position, they had to retreat. When they retreated, they made the fateful decision to dig trenches. This turned a mobile war into a very stationary war, and the war of movement which had been anticipated was replaced by trench warfare. This is significant because this pattern of trench warfare would continue for the next 4 years, with Germany firing their rifles and artillery from the safety of their trench, and with the British and French doing similar. The only way advance could be made was for people to leave trenches and leave themselves tremendously exposed to machine gun fire. This war of attrition and this war of stalemate would continue for 4 years, and we can trace this right back to the end of the Battle of the Marne. Make sure, as always, to click the link in the description for your free handout, and make sure you click on subscribe if you like what you see. I'll see you in the next video.